The next one is by Dr. Jaimie Cleeland, who's going to talk about science supporting sustainable Southern Ocean fisheries. Jaimie's a fisheries scientist within the Southern Ocean Ecosystem Program that Alex presented on this morning. Her work directly supports the conservation of bycatch species such as skates and sharks. She also has the very distinct honour of having piloted barges at every Australian Antarctic station, which is no mean feat. She's a passionate communicator and she really embraces all of our outreach opportunities. And she lives on a sailboat.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. All right, so I thought I'd take us on a journey across, don't want to break the place, across some of the roughest seas in the Southern Ocean. Long past the southwest tip of Australia lies the glaciated mountain of Heard Island. So very few have seen it, even fewer have stepped foot on its shores and experienced its bone-chilling winds. But for our fisheries science team, it's the waters around Heard Island that cover the Kerguelen Plateau beneath, some of the most productive waters in the Southern Ocean that inspire our scientific minds. So let's take a dive through the epipelagic zone and the upper sunlit waters enriched with iron that promote phytoplankton growth, supporting krill, penguins, seals and whales. Diving deeper into the mesopelagic zone, we find squid and lanternfish that seek safety here in the day but migrate towards the surface at night. As we continue to dive deeper, many of the animals we see here produce bioluminescence to attract prey, mates, or as a means of distracting from predators. Finally, we reach the silty, muddy bottom of the Kerguelen Plateau. It is in this habitat that we find the prized Patagonian toothfish and mackerel icefish, which are the target of Australia's Southern Ocean fisheries. So these fisheries, initiated in 1997, have less than 5 vessels operating annually, which catch around 3,000 tonnes of toothfish using long lines and 500 tonnes of icefish by trawling. So that reflects a value of over $100 million to the Australian fishing industry. But how do we, as scientists, ensure that this fishery is sustainable and remains so as our planet warms and the need to feed a growing population increases? Well, our fisheries research team does this through rigorous scientific analysis that supports a precautionary fishing model, and that takes a lot of data. So one of the exemplary features of this fishery, which contributes to its sustainability, is that there has been independent scientific observers on every voyage collecting data from every single haul since the initiation of the fishery. This team of observers work in the most extreme conditions. They collect important biological measurements of length and weight and maturity for both target species and the species caught unintentionally. So for Patagonian toothfish, that can be up to 2 metres long and 100 kilos. Fish ear bones, called otoliths, are also collected. These structures reveal to our team of technicians the age of each fish, and it's this team that uncovered a 63-year-old toothfish, so that's the oldest ever found. So to ensure ongoing sustainability means we just need to know how many fish there are in the sea. So to do this, we have the fishery partakes in an annual research trawl survey. So that sets an exceptional standard amongst fisheries around the world. So here we see the abundance of multiple species on the plateau over the last 12 years from this survey. So all of this information comes together and forms the basis of stock assessment models that guide recommendations of the amount of fish that can be caught sustainably. So the models predict toothfish populations 30 years into the future, and although we don't just explore scenarios for toothfish, we also do it for mackerel icefish. Their populations are also monitored, and it's not just the species of value that are the focus of our research. I'm responsible for analysing trends in bycatch, such as skates and sharks, and working with industry closely to develop better strategies and solutions to avoid impacts on these species. So in the 25 years of doing fisheries research on the Kerguelen Plateau, we've made some epic discoveries, including the flying headless chicken monster. Thanks, Dirk. And the presence of vulnerable marine ecosystems, reef gardens of hydrozoans and sponges, home to crab-like sea spiders, polychaete worms, echinoderms and sea stars. The Kerguelen Plateau, where Heard Island lies, is a place for science collaboration. So we regularly join forces with our French neighbours at Kerguelen to deliver plateau-wide science, and our friends at the University of Tasmania to ensure our work extends beyond just fisheries to whole ecosystem management. So for our science to actually mean anything, we need to ensure that it makes it onto the policy stage. This is where we work with the AAD policy section and international fisheries section here in Canberra. It is through these pathways that we take our research to the Australian Fisheries Management Authority and to CAMLR to enact change. So Australia's large presence at CAMLR means that not only do we ensure that our fishery is sustainable, but we have a say in the sustainability of all fisheries in the Southern Ocean. So what do we have to be proud of? Well, there's almost zero seabird bycatch in our subantarctic fisheries, which is an incredible achievement. This is not just us as scientists, this is us, science and our policy team. We see that illegal fishing on the Kerguelen Plateau has been virtually eliminated, and we have provided the science to support the successful development of marine protected areas around Antarctica. But it's not over yet. As the environmental and the policy areas and climate heat up, we continue to deliver the best available science to ensure our Southern Ocean fisheries remain sustainable into the future. Thank you.